gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's September the 21st, 2023. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined once again by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we discuss the news of the day, presented this morning by Bird Dogs, the company that makes you look good with their stretch khaki shorts and that come with the liners and their polo shirts and hats. Bird Dogs is your go-to brand for the most comfortable leisure wear that you will find anywhere. We'll talk a little bit more about Bird Dogs later. But Matt, I wanted to start today talking a little bit about Hurricane basketball, because it is absolutely staggering what they are doing, not just going to the Final Four last year, but the way they are parlaying it in recruiting right now. They signed a 5-star guard yesterday by the name of Jaleel Bethea. And man, when you put this guy's film on, you very quickly see why this is the most highly regarded recruit in Miami history. Quite frankly, I mean, this kid has some game. His jump shot is as pure as it gets. He is going to be Isaiah Wong on steroids for this Miami basketball program. And I see a guy that's just going to be absolutely dominant. Hopefully they can keep him for more than 1 year, but he's a 5-star, one of the top recruits in the country. He is coming to Miami. Matt, obviously this is massive for Jim Larrañaga and the basketball program. But you just can't help but just be continuously impressed by what they are getting done over there.
Yeah, Coach L is a real dude, and you know, recruits respect it. This guy, I liked what his high school coach said. He compared him to Reggie Miller and to Ray Lewis. To Ray Lewis. Is it Ray Lewis? No, Ray Allen. I assume is who they meant. You know what? Our story said Ray Lewis. If he's
got a
Ray Lewis,
Allen jump shot, I'll tell you that.
If he's Ray Lewis and Reggie Miller, I'll take him all day long. I think we had a typo in our story. I was literally just reading what the quote was. I'm going to change it right now to Ray Allen. So anyway, yeah, look, the sad thing about it, and because I only look at the negatives, if you took a poll right now, and if every Miami Hurricanes fan was being honest, and you said you can only choose one national championship, because right now I think basketball has a better chance to win a national title sooner than football in terms of this year. I think they have a better chance this year and next year of winning a national championship. That's just how I feel. In 3 years, I think Miami football will be right there with them. But for the next couple of years, that's how I feel. But if you asked every Miami fan, took a poll of every Miami Hurricanes fan of any sport, just a fan, and said, you have a choice. You could either have a Miami Hurricanes football championship or a Miami Hurricanes basketball championship, national championship, but you can't have both. Which one are you picking? What percent do you think would pick football, Gary, over basketball?
I would say 95% at least.
I think higher.
Yeah.
And it's too bad, because people say, oh, it's a basketball school now. They were joking about it when Miami was terrible the last couple of years. But why can't you be both? Why can't you be both? Dude,
walk and chew gum, man.
But it's funny. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of a school that's both. I mean, Duke's a basketball school, for the most part. Like you go down the list. I mean, there are some schools that I guess do really well in both, but I don't know if there's a school that really would consider their fans to be both. It's like fans pick one or the other, either they're football fans or they're basketball fans, but I guess for some reason they're not both. And I don't understand why. I mean, I know the schedules overlap in November and December and stuff like that, but you could be a fan of both.
You
it's
absolutely
possible.
can. Absolutely can. Absolutely should be, because Jim Larrañaga and his crew are very deserving of your affection and attention. And I expect the next couple seasons to be just unbelievable with the basketball program. So check out, we got a lot of coverage on that 5-star commit. I think we have four stories on the website about Jaleel, and check him out, get familiar with him. He is going to be a household name very quickly when he arrives on campus next year. In the meantime, the countdown is on for a massive weekend in college football. We've got our You Bet CaneSport show coming to you guys on the website later today with Lee Sterling. And he's got his work cut out for him. Some really, really big games in college football this week. But it's also countdown for the Miami Hurricanes and their first road trip of 2023 as they get ready to head to Lincoln Financial Field, where the weather's supposedly not going to be very good on Saturday, Matt. We might get a chance to see a lot of the Miami ground game if it's as windy and rainy as the forecasters are suggesting it might be right now. But this is going to be a nice, I think, exercise for the Canes just to, get everybody's feet wet who hasn't ever gone on a college football road trip. They've got a lot of freshmen playing. They're going to have a chance to do that this weekend and get back into the swing of things when you have to go away from Coral Gables and get yourself ready to play a football game. Miami is 23.5-point favorite in the game. It's hard to imagine them having a hard time with Temple on the football field. But Matt, I think just the practice of going on the road and just, the routines. I mean, the coaches want to say, it's really not that different. Our preparation's the same. I don't know if I'm buying that. It's different when you're staying in a hotel. They stay in hotels for home games, but like, I think there's just a different feel when you're on the road, and they've got some big road games coming up. They got to go to North Carolina. They got to go to FSU this year. I think it's nice to have a little dress rehearsal this weekend.
Yeah, there's a reason why the betting line is always a swing of, I think, 6 points between the teams, right? You get 3 points basically for home field. There's a reason for it, So, yeah, look, Mario Cristobal says a lot of things that he doesn't mean. And I think one of them, he wants to convince himself maybe, or convince other people, or convince his team that going on the road is absolutely no different. He literally said it's no different other than being on a plane.
He wants to convince you.
He said, other than 3 hours on a plane, it's the exact same thing as staying home. There's no difference. That's what he told everybody. I mean, it cracks me up. I think he just goes back to his office and laughs about some of the stuff he tells the media. But yeah, of course there's a difference. And yeah, of course it's good to get a game like this under your belt. The other thing is the rain, it's not that big a deal. I mean, if Temple has a strength, which it doesn't, it would probably be the secondary hasn't given up more than 205 yards passing in a game, but their run defense is just atrocious. So, I mean, it's probably a benefit for Miami because then Miami fans won't be complaining, why'd they only run the ball? Why'd they barely pass the ball? If it was a regular game, I mean, this is the kind of game you win on the ground, period. You have a huge mismatch against their defensive line and linebackers. You just pound the ball. That's how you're going to win the game. And my guess is that was Shannon Dawson's strategy even before the forecast for these subtropical conditions or whatever it's going to be. And honestly, that's going to be the easiest way for Miami to blow them out because Temple will not be able to stop Miami's run game, period. Rain, snow, blizzard, hail. I mean, name the natural disaster, earthquake, volcano. Miami will still run the ball successfully with lava flowing down from the mountains of Pennsylvania. Are there mountains in Pennsylvania? I don't know if there's mountains around Philadelphia or not. I assume there are.
Yeah, I
in the Adirondacks, there's got to be mountains.
I obviously have to agree with you, but so we've still got a lot of advanced coverage of the game this weekend on the website this morning. We spoke to Tyler Van Dyke, who's, like we've been talking about on the site, has been getting a lot more national attention the last week or two because of the way he has started the season. He suggests that he's not looking at any of it or listening to any of it. He says he's totally focused on winning. His pass efficiency ranking is number 7 in the nation right now. And so, Matt, I don't believe he doesn't see it. This is all big, very big for Tyler Van Dyke, but he's a grounded kid, and I don't expect any of these accolades he's getting to impact the way he plays at all.
Yeah, I don't know. By the way, it's the Appalachian Mountains, not the Adirondacks. I just looked it up. But yeah, listen, the whole offense, Miami's entire defense, honestly, has been playing, lights out. Yeah, is the defense ranking that well nationally? Not really. 50th here. I think it was for pass defense are in the 50s. Pass efficiency defense, not real good either. But their run defense is very good. Total defense very good. Scoring defense very good. They're top 25 in all those. And on offense, they've been really, lights out. So is it going to be a little different if it's pouring rain out and soggy field conditions? Yeah, but you know what? You need to know how to win different ways. And Tyler Van Dyke will be careful with the ball in those conditions. I mean, he grew up an Eagles fan. You know, he has a lot of family in the area. He grew up in Connecticut, but he says his favorite player growing up was Donovan McNabb. Of course, Miami fans remember for that Syracuse game where what they scored 61 points or something. What was that game?
I've never seen anything like that. I was there. It was just ridiculous. It was Donovan McNabb's last game of his career, and that place was just stoked up, man. And Miami walked into I mean, you could use the cliche hornet's nest. That's not doing it justice, what they walked into that day. Then they came back and beat UCLA in a shootout the next week. Amazing.
Yeah, but no, I mean, look, everything right now looks great, and hopefully Sunday morning we'll be saying the same thing, you know, because Temple's not very good. You don't want to have a game where you take a step backwards, right? That's Mario's whole thing, is he wants to see the team continually getting better, work hard, get better, you know, the whole thing. So yeah, you just want to see them really make some really good strides. And yeah, that Syracuse game was 66-13 back in '98. I think that was the game, right?
Yeah, it was every bit as ugly as the score.
Yeah,
it was absolutely brutal. But we also have a story on the website today with Corey Couch, who's been playing pretty good football at the nickel position, and he gave us a little bit of a revelation, Matt. I've never seen this before this year. The defense has a motto: talk, run, hit. I'm not quite sure I've seen those three things together as a motto for a defensive football team. You know, usually it's run and stick and something else. But they
you're talking about your pet dog.
But, you know, they put a big emphasis on the talking part and the communication. And, you know, I was thinking about it after I heard this motto. And I got to admit, the communication on defense has looked better this year. We're not seeing so many mental busts anymore like we were seeing a lot of last year. They just all seem very connected to each other when they're out there on the field. Would you agree?
Yeah. And I posted on the message board. I guess I confused people. I posted when he said it, and James Williams, I think, had revealed it first, but I posted on the message board. I said, you know, here's the team's defensive motto. I think they may even have it on their playbook or something like that. But, you know, I said, talk, run, hit. And I said, that's also my personal motto. And then people are like, what are you talking about? How is that your personal motto? And then I had to explain it. I said, I talk trash, I run away, and then the person hits me. Talk, run, hit. That's my personal motto, you know. And then people are like, "Oh, okay." Like,
okay, Matt. Yeah, we get it.
That's basically me. That is my personal motto because that's basically me. That sums up this.
Unbelievable. But yeah, Corey Couch has really been playing some extremely good football. So we've got that story on the website for you guys to check out today. We also have a story with linebacker Wesley Bassey, who talks about a lot of different subjects. He's been competing with KJ Cloyd for playing time. They've probably pretty much been splitting it. And, you know, KJ's really been pushing Wesley. Wesley was presumed to probably be the guy this year, but KJ came in here hungry and focused and very deserving of splitting playing time with Wesley. And right now it's all working for the defense, Matt. They're ranked number 7 in the nation in rush defense. They're number 15 in total defense, number 24 in scoring defense. Of course, the Bethune-Cookman game doesn't hurt anything, but you know, I think you got to be pleased at this point with what you've seen from the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I already talked about that, but with Wesley specifically, you know, poor Wesley, the first question he's asked, it's a Zoom call now because they don't want reporters anywhere near the practice field. God forbid we actually see an injured player and say, "Oh, my God, somebody's injured." So this Zoom call is the first question poor Wesley's asked is essentially, it was finely worded, but it essentially, and it didn't come from me. It was essentially, how does it feel to be KJ Cloyd's backup? That was basically the question. And Wesley was just silent. He was like sort of flabbergasted. And then he gave the I have the response right here. Give the canned response. I look at it pushing me to get better. We all push each other. I push KJ. KJ pushes me. We just make each other better, But, it's just awkward because we used to be able to request interviews, right? We used to get one-on-ones and request interviews, and we get certain players we wanted. Now they just sort of throw players at you. And they happen to throw 2 backups at us this week, Wesley being one of them. I guess for some reporters, it's like, well, what, if you're a reporter and you're trying to think of what questions can I ask? Well, naturally, the question for Wesley is he was supposed to be this breakout star in his second year, and he's a backup. And he's played, 40 less reps than KJ. I mean, he's played a decent amount of reps, but still way less than KJ. So the natural thought of a reporter is, how does he feel about it, right?
Right.
And then you try to think of a nice way to ask him that. Now, I personally wouldn't ask that because obviously the answer to me is he's not as good as KJ. Like, he wasn't as good as we thought he was. He wasn't as physical as we thought he would be. He was not as he doesn't grasp the defense, or he's not running the ball and hitting and tackling as well as the other guy. Like, that's why you're going to be a backup, right? To a Louisville career backup. I mean, it just is what it is. And KJ, to KJ's credit, he's fast, he's really strong for his size, and he's played fine. But yeah, to my point, when the SIDs throw a backup at the media, they're not doing the backup any favors. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get us starters, man. If you're not going to let us request people, just get us starters for now. It avoids awkward questions like the one that Wesley was asked yesterday. Poor guy. I like Wesley a lot. I mean, I know Wesley really well from high school, obviously. And was not a fan of that question.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of tough for him, I mean, he was expected to be such an impactful player for the Hurricanes coming out of high school, and it's been a little bit of a struggle. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He hasn't always known what he's supposed to do in now 2 defensive systems. They're a little anxious about putting him out there, but he's got so much ability and so much explosion that they almost feel compelled. We got to try it. We got to try it. And like, when he does what he's supposed to do, it's a sight to behold. I mean, he's a very good player. It's just he's got to become consistent. And maybe
I'll interject because nobody cares what you're talking about right now. I'm going to interject, and I'm going to say I was talking to a big booster yesterday, and he made an interesting point. He thinks that if Miami's going to really compete for the national championship, that this is the year. He thinks they're going to lose all their top players. Leonard Taylor, Tyler. Go down the list, the seniors that'll be gone, right? And 3 of the offensive linemen might be gone. So 3 of the starting offensive linemen. So, his point is, I think this is the year is what he's telling me. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't.
Well, we'll see. Let's talk in a few weeks. Let's see what happens in North Carolina.
But it's sort of funny how things change, right? They played 2 really bad opponents so far, and 1, I think, pretty good opponent. And they beat the pretty good opponent, and they look good in all 3 games. And so now everybody thinks, this shoot for the stars, win now. And Mario obviously grasps the enormity of what might happen if things go south, and maybe Texas A&M isn't that good a team, and Miami isn't that good a team yet. Because he says, like, every interview now, one interview, he said, we're miles away from where we need to be. Almost every interview.
And they got to keep that. Yeah,
right. But in the past, you don't hear it quite so much, right? In the past, he'd say, we're working hard. The culture's changing. A lot of positive stuff. Now he's like trying to grab back. I'm not talking positive about any players anymore. Basically he's telling you that, right? Yes. How great are the receivers? I'm not talking about how great anybody is. And then every interview, almost
players running ahead of themselves. I mean, they got a whole season ahead of them.
Right. So almost every interview, it's like, we need to get better. We need to get better. We have so much that we're still working on. We're not anywhere close. Every interview, we're not anywhere close to where we need to be. We're not anywhere close. And that wasn't the messaging had been giving in the preseason, right? He knew it was true in the preseason, but he didn't have to say it every interview, right? Because it was a given. Of course, Miami's nowhere close. He didn't have to constantly say it. But now with these expectations ratcheted up after 3 games, he obviously feels compelled to constantly remind everybody, look, he's not going to say we were 5-7, but essentially his code is, we were 5-7, man. Like, we're still trying to get somewhere. We're not there. And he's constantly saying it, and just people ignore him and keep talking about how great the team is, and it must make him nuts because no one knows better than Mario that this program is not there. Mario and I are the only 2 people right now that understand this program's not there yet. It's not going to be an undefeated season, a national championship team. It's not. Like, I know fans out there are going to be mad at me for saying it. Like, why can't we beat FSU? Clemson already lost to Duke, We're ranked right there with North Carolina. Like, why can't we beat everybody? And I get it, but like, if Miami beats North Carolina and Clemson, I'm all in, okay? But but I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a realist. Like, I take off my fan hat. I don't think they beat FSU and Clemson heading into the FSU game. Like, I just find that unrealistic. Call me crazy.
Look, we're going to know a lot this weekend. I'm interested to see what happens in that Florida State Clemson game this weekend. I think we're going to know a lot more about Clemson having to play Florida State at home, and I think North Carolina going into Pitt this weekend.
Pitt's not that good.
I'll tell you right now, they're playing, at home, a game that they really need badly. That they've struggled a little bit early this season. I think they're going to give North Carolina a very difficult time. It's going to be interesting to see.
If they do, it's because North Carolina beats itself. Because I've been looking at North Carolina because who cares about Temple? I've been watching a lot of North Carolina's film, and North Carolina's defense, honestly, is atrocious. Like I know that Gene Chizik thinks that they fixed their defense in his second year back, but it's atrocious. Like, I've been going through their film. Miami is going to light up North Carolina. But on the other side of the ball, like, North Carolina's offense is going to cause all kinds of problem for Miami. I mean, I'm telling you, I've gone through every game film already.
Pitt has a very good defense, and they're very well coached on defense.
But North Carolina will score on anybody. They will score on anybody. North Carolina's problem.
I'm anxious to see that.
I'm telling you what I think. I've looked at Pittsburgh defense, but I'm telling you what I've seen from North Carolina. It looks like nobody can stop them. And then when you look at North Carolina's defense, it's like anybody who can walk and chew gum, as you say, but pass and throw the ball. Any team that has a decent quarterback and a decent offensive line and running attack will score 30 or more points every single game against North Carolina. It's a fact.
But Appalachian State gave them a hard time. And I think Pitt's going to give.
Let me tell you something. I was watching film. I watched the App State North Carolina game, again, yesterday. App State's offensive line was literally pushing North Carolina's defensive line back. There's not a single App State player who would get a scholarship at North Carolina. They were consistently pushing them back at the line of scrimmage. I mean, North Carolina would they like to go a 4-2-5. They were trying to just rush 4, figuring, okay, we got this, but then they had to bring pressure to try and get some stuff done because they couldn't get it done with 4. And they had all kinds of problems in that game. And that was App State's offensive line. Miami's offensive line is going to push right through this North Carolina defensive line. And North Carolina's secondary, I was watching this number 20 guy get lit up by a guy who's got 3 inches on him. He's 6 foot. They constantly leave him on an island on the boundary. You put Colby Young at 6'5" against a guy, just do exactly what South Carolina did. Just throw the ball up in the air in that direction, and the guy's going to come down with it and high point it every time. So I'm very excited for the North Carolina game. And yeah, look, I haven't looked at Pittsburgh, so I shouldn't. The caveat of this weekend is I have not looked at Pittsburgh film. Why would I? I just know North Carolina right now, and I know that North Carolina's defense is not good, and their offense is amazing. So and the offense, I'll add. Everyone says Drake May, top 5 NFL prospect. I'm watching their offense. They're running the ball more than they're passing it this season. That's a fact. Okay, last year that was not the case. Okay. That's a fact. Their running backs are running the ball almost twice as much as they did last year, already through 3 games. And their running game is actually really, really good. Their offensive line is somewhat average, but they've got 2 running backs, man, who are bruisers. They put their head down and knock you backwards. I mean, you watch that film, and those running backs are really impressive, and they also catch the ball. It's going to be and the tight ends catch the ball. It's going to be a very, very difficult offense for Pittsburgh, for anybody to stop, in my opinion. It really is. I mean, they're a well-rounded, really well-schemed offense, period. And you just got to beat them by scoring 35 points.
It's going to be fun to watch. We'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend.
Don't you want to start talking about Colorado? We haven't heard about Colorado yet.
No, I'm not talking about Colorado.
Colorado.
No, they're going to lose to Oregon this week, and then we're not going to have to talk about Colorado anymore.
Wow.
But we are.
They wanted you to say good morning, Buff Sports, or something like that. I looked at a joke on the YouTube channel this morning.
Good morning, Colorado. Now, listen, I'm gonna talk about something that everybody should want to talk about, and hopefully they will want to talk about very, very soon, and that is bird dogs. Because bird dogs, which, in case you don't know what bird dogs is It is a really trendy, really nice, active lifestyle brand, better than Lululemon, that makes just some phenomenal shorts and polos and hats and different things that you guys will really, really like. Matt and I have gotten packages from Bird Dogs with all their top items, including the polo shirt, Gary's Anatomy, which we've spoken about in the past. I wear it constantly. If you're going to name a shirt after me, I'm wearing it at least once a week. So I'm running around town and in my Gary's Anatomy polo and, flexing my muscles and feeling all big time to have one of these Bird Dogs clothing items named after me. But Bird Dogs, they simply make you look good. And they have stretch khaki shorts that are designed to fit slimmer around the thigh and the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look no matter what your real body type is. You put on these Bird Dogs shorts, you look sculpted, you look good. And guys, the ladies are taking notice all over the place. Trust me. So you want to check those out. They do the same thing the Bird Dog shorts do that Lululemon set out to do, except they do it way better because they fit way better than any other brand. Better than regular shorts that are made of stiff, restricting cotton. Bird Dogs shorts fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric. It looks just like khaki, but it stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. Hope that makes sense. And they also, let's face it, some of you guys out there stink when you're walking around and sweating and stuff. You stink, okay? Well, they have this anti-stink, sweat-wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. So if you're a sweater, you want to check out Bird Dogs. So, look, they have a special right now, okay? I'm going to put this thermos up here on the screen so you can see it. This is Bird Dogs, okay? And this is a Hydro Flask style water bottle, okay? And if you go to birddogs.com/CaneSport and you enter the promo code CaneSport, they will give you one of these for free with your first order. So make sure you do that. So go to birddogs.com, use the promo code CaneSport, check out all their items, get yourself a free Hydro Flask style water bottle, and you will not be sorry because Bird Dogs has a phenomenal line of leisure clothing that will really transform your life in a way, because you will feel so much better when you're just, knocking around, having a good time. So check them out at birddogs.com. All right, I had a couple other stories I wanted to talk about today. There is a top 100 South Florida running back that the Miami Hurricanes offered back in July. His American heritage is DeAndre Desinor, and he is building a constantly progressing relationship with Canes coaches. Running backs coach Tim Harris, offensive analyst Benedict Hippolyte. They're leading the way in his recruitment. And Miami's a real contender to land this number 77 prospect in the 2025 class. So you could check out that story on the website today. We also have our weekly Tracking the Commits feature, where we show you the results and statistics of all the kids that are committed to the Miami Hurricanes. So check that out. And then we also have a story on Miami commit Elias Rudolph, who will be visiting Hard Rock Stadium again soon and might be bringing his 3-star friend with him, who is committed to West Virginia. Never know. Miami could take an interest in him. We will see what happens on that front, but you can check out that story update on Elias Rudolph on the website this morning as well. So that's going to do it for today for Good Morning CaneSport. Thank you so much for starting out your day with us. If you're on YouTube, hit your subscribe button and like button. It helps us with the algorithms, grow our audience. If you are not yet a subscriber to CaneSport.com, please come join our community of fans. We hope you will not be sorry. We got a great group on our website. We would love to have you as a member real soon. So for Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. Thank you again, everybody, and we will see you next time.